Judging in MMA is absolutely broken right now. We are coming off possibly one of the worst robberies in UFC, at least in 2024, and probably one of the top 3 to me in recent memory. And that is Ciryl Gane getting a split decision victory over Alexander Volkov at UFC 310. This was an atrocious decision. I think the lady's name was like Sue something Bird. I don't know what the hell her name is. It doesn't really matter. She gave Ciryl Gane 2 of the 3 rounds, and this is not her only controversial decision. Not to mention, there have been plenty of other MMA judges that have cost fighters huge amounts of money, wins, records, momentum, everything like that, because of the fact that they went the other way on a clear victory for what the public sees, right? And to me, there is really only one answer as to why this keeps happening, and it has to be, there's got to be some level of corruption inside the MMA, like the judging commissions and different things like that. Like, there is no other explanation how these people see things so differently than everybody else. Like, there's a list of them. This Bird lady is one. Number 2 is that guy Sal D'Amato. I think Derek Cleary is another. I don't know about Derek Cleary, but I'm sure about Sal D'Amato and this Bird lady and Derek Cleary. Like, most of the time, they go the other way. They are always on the wrong end of split decisions. And it's bad enough in and of itself. It was so bad this time that Dana White goes to, first of all, Ciryl Gane. By the way, if you wouldn't mind, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps the algorithm, helps grow the channel. It was so bad that Ciryl Gane gets up when he gets the decision and leaves the octagon, being like, this is bullshit. I clearly didn't win. Look at their posture at the end of the fight. Ciryl Gane is lying on the ground. Is that the posture of somebody who thinks they won the fight? Volkov gets up and raises his head, like, I did enough to win. And this idiot, Bird, gives it to Gane. And then Volkov, says, oh, she probably is a woman who just likes the shape of Ciryl Gane's body. By the way, I've heard a lot of women say that, like, this is an attractive man, right? Over mine, which is why she gave him the decision, alluding to the fact that women shouldn't be MMA judges. And by the way, like, I'm not someone who, how do I put this? Like, if it's a split decision that goes the wrong way, but it's a very close fight, that's different, right? Like, for example, John Jones and Dominic Reyes, right? John Jones and Dominic Reyes, that was a very close fight. Basically for the first half of the 25-minute fight, I would say rounds 1, 2, and then the first half of round 3, I would say that Dominic Reyes was winning. And then towards the end of round 3 and 4 and 5, John Jones was winning that, right? And to me, John Jones looked like the fresher guy at the end of the fight, and I'd be like, if they were to keep fighting, I bet you John Jones would get the better of Dominic Reyes. That's what I remember from back then. I haven't watched it in a while, but, I was coming out of that, and I'm like, Reyes probably should have won, but you could certainly make a case for John Jones. I'm not upset by that. But, for example, back in October, Fakhretdinov getting that split, or that win, that was ridiculous. He clearly lost that fight, right? And there was a couple others where, like, just, what's your name? Bantamweight, women's bantamweight. It'll come to me here. Raquel Pennington and Juliana Pena. Most people thought that Pennington won. To me, that was a bit closer than what we saw for Gane and Volkov, right? But that's another example where the vast majority of people are seeing, okay, yeah, Pennington should have won that fight, 100%. And the reality is she's pretty boring, so she's probably not getting another title fight anytime soon. So, like, just a bunch of these examples as to it is clear that the judging system is broken. It is clear that something needs to be done. I don't have proof, but it is clear to me that some level of like corruption or money or gambling or something is going on behind the scenes. Because like, how could people be picking such egregiously bad decisions on repeat unless they or someone in their family is making some kind of gain from this, right? Gambling is a big business. And again, I don't know what the procedures are for like screening and making sure that people don't get some kind of advantage in that area, but I would be willing to bet, because like I come from the finance world, right? And there's a lot of stuff like insider trading, like you gotta okay, who are your close relatives? Do you have, it doesn't really apply to, you know, people who make legislation in Washington, it seems, but at least in theory it's supposed to be like, okay, like, you know, are you a family member of a guy who is a CEO of a publicly traded company? Do you have any family or friends that you feed information to and all these other kind of things? And if you get caught, of course, you're supposed to do jail time, right? So to me, it's like, okay, you know, who are these people's friends and family members? Do they gamble? You know, do they talk to the judges before and say, hey, you know, I put some money on Cyril Gane to beat Volkov, okay, you know, or maybe it's just telling her fiance or partner or whoever, hey, you know, we put some money on Cyril Gane to win this fight. Do with that information what you will. And then they kind of look at it like, yeah, okay, Cyril Gane, whatever, they're writing it down, and then the people they care about win money. Like, I don't know, right? I don't know what it is, but it just seems like there's got to be something going on for this to happen so often, so repeatedly. And I'm just wondering, like, first of all, here's how we fix this. Number one is accountability, right? I feel like for decisions where it is atrociously bad, right? Like this one, they should have to come on TV or come on the microphone, like, and not, you know, give them time and whatever. Like, come into the octagon in front of Joe Rogan or whatever and say, okay, like, here is why we gave this decision. Some level of public scrutiny, or them having to at least explain their decision, right? Something like that. That's number one. Number two, and I don't know if this exists, more judges, right? And like people who used to be MMA fighters should be somewhere like getting licensed as judges. Like if I'm Dana White, I'm going to retired UFC fighters and be like, hey, like, what are you up to right now? Hey, do you want to become a licensed judge, like if you live in Nevada or LA, or I mean in California or whatever, do you want to become a licensed whatever, you know, we'd really appreciate it if you could step up and do that, right? And again, I don't know what they have to do to become a judge, but like I'd be going to them and I'd be like, hey, like, let's get you guys in there because you guys know what you're looking at, right? Then I would be making sure that there is some mechanism in place to prevent any type of insider trading, right? Whatever, like gambling advantage, right? Like, so they've got to list out all their friends, all their families, you know, close relatives. You got to list out all their emails, addresses, all these other kind of things. And so that if at any casino or any online betting platform or whatever, these people place bets on the thing, like you immediately have to remove this person from judging, right? Like, and I'm not talking permanently, I'm just talking like if a bet was placed on a Cyril Gane versus Volkov fight and someone's family on like their list or whatever, it's found out that they placed a bet on that person needs to be removed as a judge from that card. Now, again, logistically, I don't know how they do that, but with technology these days, there's got to be a way. And lastly, I think one of the ways you you take the judges out of it, and I love this rule in karate combat, is you go to sudden death, right? Which is like basically if if it's a split decision or I think a draw or something like that in karate combat, they basically add an extra round, and that one's kind of a winner takes all situation, right? And like you're not allowed to call it a tie. You like somebody's coming out on top, right? So some type of overtime or sudden death or something like this to really definitively decide who is the winner, right? Now I don't know if that doesn't really, again, like that wouldn't do away with like the split decision type of thing, but certainly no draws. Like these are just a few things that I think we could do to fix it, because like I've said, that was brutal and I can't stand it. And so like this keeps happening. There were a couple other decisions on that card, like Movsar getting the decision over Alger. That was a really close fight, right? So like that one doesn't bug me as much. But the Volkov one, like everybody, I repeat, everybody goes online like this is bullshit, right? Dana White apologizes to him and says, "You are now the contender." Like, what more proof do you need? So those are just a few things that I think should be done in order to fix this problem, because it is insane and it just keeps happening and I'm sick of it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.